I have spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours playing RPGs, whether that's Skyrim, World of Warcraft, Fallout, countless titles, really. And I think that lends me enough credibility to the point where I'm a reliable judge of what a good RPG looks like and what can contribute to making an RPG better or what would be detrimental to an RPG. Chief among what definitely harms an RPG is something that ruins all games. In my opinion, and in the opinion of most gamers, I believe, I would assume, is being pay to win. I rediscovered what I found to be the most disgusting, pay to win, pay to progress, loot box riddled game driven almost exclusively by greed. Today, I present to you Neverwinter. I have played Neverwinter for 750 hours. I didn't really realize that I had that much time put into this game. I have absolutely no idea how, and also no idea why. And after playing hundreds of hours of subscription based games or games that you purchase and you don't have to commit to any microtransactions in order to progress in a reasonable amount of time, we're going to go back and see A, if Neverwinter has changed at all, and B, see just how greedy they are. And this is going to be completely honest, completely transparent. I'm a small YouTuber, and I do not get paid to lie. So, let's jump into the world of the greediest MMO that exists. 144 refresh rate. I know I'm just in a menu, but seeing 560 frames, this game's really made to be run on like laptops. It's actually kind of great. Sure, we will relearn the keybinds. I'm sorry, what? Why am I 2D? What is this? Why is it only from that angle? Wait. That's actually super funny. What is on my head? What is going on with this? Is this like Super Paper Mario or something? Okay. Jesus Christ. Are they all gonna be like 2D? What's going on with this? Bro, I just want to see. What is going on? Bro, can I just see the tattoo? All I want is the face. Whatever. Good enough for me. Oh, wait. Ooh, Zen Sale. Okay. This is it. Let's see. Services. Wait. Okay. Alright, so for just the baseline. Cat's being weird. For just the baseline, $100 gets you 1,200 Zen. 12,000 Zen, sorry. So it's like 1 cent for a Zen, or 1 Zen. It's like, this is, it's not awful. That's $4. It just adds up. If you want, I already have that, actually. But okay, sure. Say if you get 1 race, 2 races, 3 races, 4 races, 5 races. That's $20. That's just for the races. Professions. Boost profession to the max. That's $20. I don't know 50k item level is good, but I guess so. Although if it was my best guess, that's not the best stuff. If I had to take my best educated guess, that's not the best stuff. It probably goes up to like maybe like 60, 70k, 80k even, 75k maybe. This will qualify you to start the North Dark Reaches campaign. So this isn't endgame stuff. And that's $40. So just to cover a couple of preliminary concepts, Zen is a premium currency you can buy at roughly the rate of 100 Zen for $1 when we aren't accounting for sales, since these sales are only periodic. There are absolutely better times to purchase Zen and better times to spend it. They have 20% off sales, maybe infrequently, I don't know if I would say semi-frequently, but they do happen, and if you are going to spend the Zen, that's the best time. However, we should all know that these sales are just to entice people who aren't as likely to spend this sort of money on a game. This is a public service announcement in the form of a reminder that the goal of this company, which is Cryptic Studios by the way, is to make money, and they'll clearly do whatever they need to in order to get your bottom dollar. This is only a game, and everything that Cryptic sells is made artificially more expensive for the purpose of increased sales at discounted prices. There is no intrinsic value of anything that you can buy in this game. The value is dictated by the game studio that develops it. You can absolutely spend your money on whatever you want, but there are thousands of other ways to spend your money and time in a more meaningful manner. Don't let the concept of a sale for artificially inflated, digital, worthless items sway you into giving your money to a greedy corporation. There are a few ways to become more powerful in Neverwinter. As the game is based on Dungeons & Dragons, the max level your character can reach is level 20. This is where your journey really begins. Gear plays into your power a decent amount, but that's just one piece of the puzzle. There are also enchantments, artifacts, mounts, insignias and collars for the mounts, companions, companion equipment, and enchantments, and boons. Boons are one of my biggest problems with this game. They're gained from completing campaigns, which there are currently 13 of from what I can see in the shop. You can buy tokens to skip, and maybe 1 or 2 more that you can't pay to skip. Boons provide permanent buffs that become pretty significant once they begin stacking, but the way you unlock them is by completing campaigns. The way you complete campaigns is by collecting and turning in pretty significant amounts of campaign currencies, which are locked behind daily and weekly caps and quests, and gaining reputations, which may or may not be locked. I don't honestly remember. This takes usually a minimum of 6 weeks to complete a campaign, but there are a couple that can last for months on the other end of the spectrum from my research. Looking at you, something to do with Thunder King. Thunder King Ryo? No, that's a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Oh well, not important. While you can potentially farm all the dailies and weeklies for every campaign, every day or week, it's important to ask ourselves, why? I personally view having to do dailies to complete campaigns as just a lazy way to develop a game, at best. At worst, it's a malicious attempt to try to get players to spend their hard-earned cash on something that by no means has to take that long. And now for a few positive things. The graphics are nostalgic. Nostalgic's the word we'll use. The gameplay is pretty simple, but still quite fun, and there is some challenge in the game, especially in the newer expansions or if you're under-geared. And the game is based on Dungeons & Dragons, as I mentioned before, so there's character building at the very heart of the game. And that's probably one of the best aspects of any game anymore, the character creation. Why would you make a character that doesn't look great? The community honestly seems to have died a lot over the last few years, and it's not hard to imagine why. But as with all communities, the players that remain in Neverwinter are a mixed bag. Some are nice, and some wouldn't last an hour with AI chat monitoring. Thanks, Call of Duty. And back to the negatives. There are loot boxes every turn that you take, and you have to buy premium keys using Zen to unlock them. and these can contain anything from really, really rare mounts, which is usually what people try to open out of them. Certain mounts have certain abilities, and those abilities may be more powerful than other mounts. They definitely are more powerful than other mounts. That's not balanced at all. If it was balanced, why would you spend hundreds of dollars on lockboxes? I also want to say that there's refining stuff, and refining is another pain in the ass. All of your artifacts and enchantments can be refined to a maximum level of mythic. And they changed the system since the last time I had played, so I'm not too familiar with how the artifact upgrading goes. And I also wasn't really able to find a super reliable source of how many refinement points you need in order to get one enchantment to mythic. There are 13 slots from what the character screen is showing me for enchantments. I found online that this is a couple years old of a post, I think it was 2 years old, but somebody mentioned that you need 32 of these coalescent motes or coalescent stones or whatever they're called now, that essentially guarantee that your upgrade is successful. And those are essentially $10 each, and from what I read, you need 32 of them, so that's $320 just on enchantments, or upgrading enchantments rather. That's not including all the refinement points that I guess you could farm them, but again, why? You'd be farming them for months and months and months. It's a very slow grind. Or you could buy them. They have packs that give you random drops for gems, which will give you refinement points. I was unable to find a number for how many refinement points it takes to get an enchantment to mythic. But the main point of contention that I have with the refinement process is that there's a chance for the refinement to fail, which will waste all of your resources. That chance has been changed since I last played, and it now sits at a 1% chance to succeed, even from common to uncommon rarity. Not a 1% chance to fail, but a 1% chance to succeed with the most basic mote. If your refinement fails, one random component of the refinement attempt will be destroyed unless you have a preservation ward placed into the optional slot accompanying it. There are different motes that you can buy with Astral Diamonds, which is the semi-premium currency in Neverwinter. You get rough Astral Diamonds from stuff like dungeons or other random queues along with other activities, and they're generally not hard to find. However, you can only refine up to 100,000 rough Astral Diamonds into Astral Diamonds a day per account. And while rough Astral Diamonds are not hard to come by, being able to refine only 100k a day is an immensely limiting factor. Like, having 100,000 Astral Diamond daily limit is insane. But do you know what doesn't have a daily limit? That's right, today's sponsor. Nah, this video isn't sponsored. Definitely should be though, hit my DMs. Zen doesn't have a limit as to how much you can buy. And do you know what you can trade for Astral Diamonds in an interface completely different from the auction house or the Zen store? Congratulations, you're right again. Back to upgrading enchantments, I'll put up a screenshot of the price of coalescent motes on the auction house that I took at the time of recording. I'm sure they're subject to change, although it's probably not by much since they're always in demand. That is 708,000 Astral Diamonds per singular mote. That is a week of refining raw Astral Diamonds per mote. If you recall, the source that I had found previously quoted 32 as the number of motes you need to get all mythic enchantments, and that doesn't include artifacts or anything else that you might need to refine, so that comes out to 32 weeks, or 8 months, to grind out all of these Astral Diamonds. That is only for one character, of which you can have 9, I believe, before you have to buy extra character slots. So if you wanted to max out all enchantments on all characters, that would take 72 months, and I just think that this number keeps getting more and more and more ridiculous. This also doesn't include any of the actual loot rolls to get these enchantments themselves, or the price to buy them on the auction house, or the price of other refinement materials. I can't find a source saying how much each tier of refinement costs to upgrade, and I'm not going to go play Neverwinter long enough to figure out. I just skipped like 4 words. I can't find a source saying how much each tier of refinement costs to upgrade, and I'm not going to go play Neverwinter long enough to get enough Astral Diamonds to figure that one out. These modes aren't optional either, not in any meaningful way. The next highest chance mode is a 10% success rate for 55% of the price of a coalescent mode, and you'd have to be pretty dumb for even considering that. There is no way around it. You will be grinding for 8 months if you want to reach the end game. All in all, the design of this game is such as to waste your time so much that you decide to purchase their premium currency and spend literal, most of which I can't calculate because I don't have access to statistics concerning their loot boxes, which I am entirely sure is their largest amount of revenue by far. They even do that thing that Chinese companies love to do where they announce if somebody gets a rare drop across the top of the screen and in global chat so everyone sees it, so they all want to go spend money on loot boxes. It's like the lottery companies dictating that you must have your picture taken holding a massive clown-sized check with the amount you won. So other people think that they have a meaningful shot at winning a large sum of money. It's the same thing. And if that doesn't make this game the greediest MMO that exists, I'd love to hear about the other options in the comment section below. This is Zell, and thanks for tuning in. Remember to be financially responsible and not gamble away all of your life savings for pixels. Good night, everyone.